Welcome to Food News Today. Do you really know what's in your food or how many calories you're actually consuming? Researchers from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill are in the process of helping us figure out that by putting together one gargantuan map of the foods that we're buying and eating, it could help. This new database will provide more information and detail than researchers have ever had on grocery items. Currently, the way to find out what Americans are eating and how many calories we're consuming is through government data. Now, this data isn't always up to date with the rapidly changing food marketplace. One of the many benefits of this new database is its ability to distinguish between a product's many brands and its variations. UNC researchers use chocolate milk as an example. The government has long classified chocolate milk with 2% fat as one item. But using grocery store and also commercial data, they looked at thousands of different brands and variations of 2% chocolate milk and averaged them out. The results show that chocolate milk has about 11 calories per cup more than the government ever thought. The Food Map researchers, led by Professor Barry Popkin at the UNC School of Public Health, will be doing this with every single item in the store. With the help of supercomputers on campus, Popkin and his team have taken existing commercial databases of food items in stores and in people's homes, including the store-based scanner data of 600,000 different foods, and matched that information with the nutritional facts panels on the back of packages and the government data on individuals' dietary intake. Now, this is exactly why the new food map will be so invaluable. This enormous database will be the best source of information yet on what exact ingredients and nutrients people are consuming. That data could also be used to lay out nutritional guidelines, push companies to cut down on certain ingredients, and even help with disease research. Packaged foods have been the hardest to monitor because of the ever-changing landscape. And as yet, the food map does not include restaurant meals and some prepared foods. But if the project continues to receive funding, these meals could be next. The first results from this study will be out later in the year and will be among the first to report them to you. The smaller the paycheck, the bigger the employee. At least that's what came out of the latest Gallup Healthways Well-Being Index. Data from a recent survey found that workers from transportation, manufacturing, repair, and service industries were more likely to be obese than doctors, business owners, teachers, and other professionals. This recent survey also explored lifestyle and psychological factors. For example, how often a person exercised, whether or not they smoked, if they visited the dentist or had a primary care physician, and if they had a history of depression, and separately access to healthy, affordable foods. Results show that the number of obese workers were highest among poorer paying jobs that required less education. The survey also found that service workers were the least likely to have a safe place to exercise and the most likely to have been diagnosed with depression and to have struggled to afford food, while farming, fishing, forestry workers had the highest rates of exercise and healthful eating. So, how can this information be used and what's its purpose? Researchers suggest that employers use this information to help employees and offer solutions. For example, offering a safe exercise space and developing healthy food programs that will ensure access for all employees. Gallup researchers also found that engaged employees exercise more frequently and also eat healthier than those who are not engaged. So their advice? Prioritize employee engagement, and you may see a double benefit of healthier and happier workers. Supermarkets are primarily a functional space, and a result when you think of a trip to the supermarket that you probably don't think of as a respite from urban life, or a beautiful landscape terrace with gardens of green trees and colorful flowers. But why couldn't it be? Well, that's exactly what Amsterdam-based architects, NL Architects, were wondering. So they decided to do something about it. Check out their proposal for a supermarket in Sanya, a popular resort in southern China. Now, the original plan called for a simple shopping structure on a triangular plot adjacent to a row of residential slabs. But after studying the site, the architects saw an opportunity for something much more impressive: a landscape retreat. They chose to sink the supermarket below ground, above parking and deliveries, replacing it with a glass pavilion at street level that would be covered by a giant stepped roof garden. A large cafe pavilion with shops fronting the street connects the structure to the surrounding residential buildings, while the impressive rooftop garden is visually attractive and a beautiful gateway to the resort. NL architects are hoping that this idea catches on, stating that often the potential of the roofscape is underestimated or neglected. We hope it catches on as well. It certainly can make for a much more visually pleasing shopping trip, and you know what that means. The more pleasing the shopping trip, the longer the person stays in the store, and finally, the more they buy. Now, if you're sick of carrying your lunch to work in a brown paper sack or in your briefcase, we found an interesting, maybe perhaps bizarre solution: a ZIPLOCK jacket. That's right, a ZIPLOCK jacket. What do you think? Is this the next fashion trend? Not. Well, if you happen to be interested, this picture was posted on Tumblr. Go and check it out. But think about one thing. If this actually takes off, is the next step a freezer ZIPLOCK jacket? That's all for this week's edition of Food News Today. Don't forget to check out supermarketguru.com. Send me a message on Facebook or Twitter. Food News Today is sponsored by ConAgra Foods, who shares with me the desire to provide the most current, interesting, and unbiased food news. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.